So this week I was reading a news article that they are developing birth control for men. Birth control is common for women. Normally, you take a pill and it prevents you from being from fertilizing the egg. And this birth control for men that's in trial with mice, and now they're going to move to trials in humans. It pretty much prevents certain proteins from making you fertile for the period of time that you take these pills. Currently, for a male to prevent pregnancy, you either have to have a vasectomy or trust a condom or trust that the girl is on birth control herself. Birth control allowed the modern developed world and countries because the primitive way of living is, you just have sex and have whatever consequences are left. And in prior times in human history, you had as many kids as you could have because certain amount would die from certain diseases. There wasn't modern medicine, and that was how you survived because your kids tend to farm with you. You live off the land, and it's just based off human survival, not necessarily love, just primitive survival and primitive sex. And as humans evolved and became more intelligent and expanded human life expectancy with modern medicine and modern times, then more educated societies have birth control because you don't need to reproduce children to survive. There's other functions in society. And in a modern time, in a modern society, actually having too many children can be very unhealthy for the society and for people because it's such a big demand on your life. And for many years, churches tried to say if you use birth control, you were sinning. A lot of these churches were the same churches that turned their back on sexual abuse and the same churches that, may not believe in social economic programs. So how are these people going to take care of themselves? So I remember, and my mom kind of came from that generation, right, where you got married, you had kids, you may not use birth control. And my father was scared to get a vasectomy. And I think he had too many kids. And I think there's a lot of people that destroy their life from having too many kids. I think that you don't realize, if you listen to any fair person, I was listening to this famous volleyball player, this woman, Gabrielle Reese. She was a very famous volleyball player. She married a famous surfer, and she has 3 kids or 2 kids. She's very honest. And she said basically what my mom said is that once you have a child, your life is forever changed and you never stop worrying. And this comes from someone that, this woman, this volleyball player, she was financially stable. Okay. She didn't need a man. She didn't need children. And same thing with her husband, right? So I know the big debate, especially amongst like the men going their own way movement, it's so horrible to have a baby. The woman gets all the rights. Well, if you are that intelligent, then get a vasectomy or use birth control or be part of this human trial. You can't be such a dumb man that you go knocking up women and then expect you want the world to cater to your needs. Okay. And I could tell you that I was spared. Okay. That, when you're young and hormonal, you could easily have kids. And if you already had kids, don't beat yourself up. You make do with what you have. But I always tell the young people who watch this channel and I talk to, if you don't have kids, you have so much going for you in your life. You really do. Because you don't have a huge financial burden. Even if you're in debt, you could figure it out. You don't really need a big house. You don't need a nice car because no one else is counting on you other than you. Because even if you're married with no kids, there's no attachment. It's not much to dissolve that. Kids bring the complication. Okay. And emotionally and financially. Emotionally and financially. A lot of people say that having a kid changed my life for the better. More people will say having a child changed my life for the worst. They just won't tell you that. So, again, if you want to have a family and if you desire to, it's a great goal. Everyone's different, obviously, you need, everyone's born different. But again, I think that as humans evolve, thank God that women have birth control. I thank God for abortion. I do. And I can say that because I was supposed to be an abortion. And children who were supposed to be an abortion, they have a right to speak. And to me, I'm very thankful for my life. I had a good life overall, especially what I've seen in life. So I don't blame, I'm very thankful for all my parents did for me in society. But I want to tell you, I also have a right to speak that. I wouldn't choose to be in this world. So, you can't just say, oh, I'm anti-abortion, but talk to the kids who are supposed to be an abortion. What do they have to say? Do they choose to come into this world? So, that's what I mean. People don't want to have that conversation. But I would just tell you like this. Now, I don't blame anyone. Okay. I own my life. I live I live a great life, I feel, and I've been blessed. But I want to tell you this is that you're going to have, if you're a mother, you're going to have maybe your daughters living with you the rest of your life. And they're going to destroy your mental health. And you're going to wish maybe they were an abortion. That's truth. And, I would just tell you that I see people, there's a lot of people now too. I saw the study that more than ever, there's people using artificial means to get pregnant. There's a lot of infertility. And, again, everyone should do what they want. These are my opinions. Again, I was spared, I think, being, I had a certain personality. I don't think I ever wanted a family. But again, when you're young and hormonal and you're experimenting, anything can happen. So I don't want to preach from a high horse. But I want to preach to someone who made it into their 30s and 40s without kids. And I think if you can make it into your 30s and 40s without kids, you got to really ask yourself, what type of personality do you have? And then look, if you have a kid or two kids, how many do you want to have? How much quality of life do you and that suffer? Now, again, if you got the resources and the mental, emotional capacity, then that's your choice. And again, if you have kids and if your kids have problems mentally, physically, emotionally, you can't beat yourself up. This is not meant for that. This is meant to reach the people that don't realize what a blessing it is to prevent pregnancy. It really is. I hate to tell you that. And because what I could tell you is your parents don't want to be grandparents. Even if they want to be grandparents, they don't want to take care of your kids. And you're still going to want to have a life. I was listening to this girl and I saw it even with people I know, like you have a child and if you're a woman, there's joy, but there's a big burden. Your relationship with your lover changes forever. Your house is always going to be a little bit more messy, a little bit more chaotic. People with OCD should not have kids. And my father had OCD, and I think he had too many kids. But I think he was so bent on not getting a vasectomy because he was so scared mentally, had a sensitive mind. A lot of people I meet online now, they have all these mental problems, some of them, and they mind fuck all this philosophy. And I respect an analytical mind. I'll do a whole separate topic on don't overthink. Because I'm an analytical person. I spent a season of my life where I studied a lot. So I think there's value there. But I think you also get to a point where you mind fuck life. And if you get caught in that algorithm, but then you're also scared to admit that, you won't adapt to any modern medicine. And I'm not pro medicine. I don't really take any pills. I don't do anything artificial. But there's a certain level of, look, you have to know yourself. If you're out there having unprotected sex and you have mental problems, I don't know, but you can't reach those with mental problems. But it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. But, all I could tell you is, there's a lot of people that have mental problems say they can't work, but they could still have unprotected sex. That's weird. That's a weird thing, man. Look, I'm not going to really listen to someone who's unproductive and they tell me about meditation and philosophy, because if you're unproductive, you're depressed. And your philosophy holds no weight. Why? You cannot outthink life. You have to live life. Philosophy comes from living life and your experiences, not from just reading, not from just, having sex and then sitting in your house with your family. Birth control for men will be a blessing. I think it'd be another step forward for humanity. Because a lot of people, You look at humanity and it never stops wars, conflict, and look in families. Families are divided just as much as, I do believe, though, humanity has gotten better over years through modern medicine, through technology, through science, through data. I think faith is always helpful. I think religion is the type of people who tell you, don't masturbate, only have unprotected sex, and then they'll go commit adultery, or then they'll go molest someone, or then they'll go watch porn. So, and then they won't work, and they'll tell you, give me 10% from your work. So, you can't buy too much into that philosophy. You should learn faith, but you can't buy too much into that. So you're left with the results of your decisions. And even me, I was watching some porn today, and we're going to go all live comments. And the free porn I was watching was about this guy who was impregnating his babysitter. And, it's very taboo and it's sexy to watch. And you could see how when all your neurological windings are getting ready to orgasm in a girl, you say, have my baby, to say something wild. And so that's understandable, right? But then after that is over, after that scene of your life is over, there's a lifetime of consequence, a lifetime of worrying, a lifetime of burden. So, that's why I tell you I'm pro-masturbation. Why have the fantasy, not the reality? It's like, to me, don't have a kid and then watch Disney. Huh, you know what I mean? Now you're watching a fantasy, and you're lying about reality. To me, instead of having a kid and taking them to the Disney experience, to me, watch free porn as if you were going to make a kid and never go to Disney, okay? Because I don't know why any adult would want to go to Disney World. They're either on drugs or they're delusional, and I've met a few. I want to tell you right now, if you're an adult and you're going to Disney World, let's stay positive. But there's a lot, too. I mean, it's amazing. But, all right, click that thumbs up if you appreciate these videos. Share the video with someone you know. Do I think it will help them? Well, to plant a seed, not a seed that will make them fertile. Because to me, I'm fully vaccinated and I would take men birth control pills. Why? Hey guys, look, to me, I'm not anti, without vaccinations, okay, death rate would have been a lot lower throughout human history. To me, without modern medicine, we would live in a third world country. So to me, guys, if Dr. Fauci wants to kill us, I looked around. I really didn't want to take the vaccine. It's not like I wake up and I say, oh, I hope Dr. Fauci makes a new vaccine. But I woke up and I saw, where society was at. And then I saw, now again, I respect some people. I know they got autoimmune problems. They can't take the vaccine. So I respect that. But I saw a lot of the people who weren't taking the vaccine. I said, these people are batshit crazy. And I said, so let's say the vaccine kills me. I said, am I going to be left with all the batshit crazy people? So I was like, well, if I die, I'm going somewhere else. If I stay here, I don't take the vaccine, then I'm left with the 30% of society I'm vaccinated. They're all crazy. I said, oh, sign me up, Dr. Fauci. And I didn't get the booster because I didn't really want to get it. But I said, I made that a calculation. Now, again, I know some great people, very smart. They didn't get vaccinated. I love them. And they got their own reasons. I respect everyone, guys. But I got to share my opinion. My opinion is, in this world, okay, where you artificially inseminate your uterus with a fake sperm from a person that you picked out their height, their DNA and everything, but you won't get vaccinated, to me, that's like, wow, what type of world do we live in? It's like, damn, I said, sign me up for birth control too, man. What else can I sign up for? So that's just my opinion based off my experience. Click that thumbs up, guys. Let's go to all our comments. Shout out to the baby shower. Yeah, I thank God I ain't got no damn kids. I want to tell you too, and I never raised no damn kids. I'll tell you right now. I see some of these suckers, they raising kids, and these kids don't even respect these people. And they talking about they doing it for the kids. I had a lot of laugh. I said, these motherfuckers. I want to tell you right now, that girl's so sucker. And then it's crazy. Grandma, hey Sam, good to see you. Jarve, howdy from San Antonio. Love to you. Andre, hey, what's up, Andre? Good to see you. Malvano, vasectomy for the victory. I think it's a great thing. Although that, again, unless you're going to abstain from sex or whatever, it's all different. You don't have to get that, but if you're going to be actively doing it, you have to have some type of birth control. And then he goes, although that fumbling shot had me levitating off the table, doctor said no for the other side. I yelled, can't you just reach across? Good to see you, Movana. Clock Radio. Won't be good for civilization if this not wanting to exist, the world trend catches on. Yeah, would we create robots? So to me, it's like, how are you communicating with me right now, Clock Radio? You're not communicating me through a radio, you're communicating through the internet. Why are you doing that if you don't believe in human technology? If you don't believe in science and data and technology, why are you doing that? Why aren't you out there building a campfire? Why aren't you growing your own food, cooking it, not on the internet? I'll tell you why you're delusional and probably unvaccinated. Don't have kids. I want to tell you right now. Because, you did say vaccines are safe and effective. Thank you. Wait, maybe you said not wanting to exist in this world is catching on. Oh, no, you said the right thing. I'm sorry. I got a little, I didn't read your comment right. I apologize. I think we were on the same page. I apologize. Twister, what's up, Sam? What's up, brother? Fire. You don't have any kids? Twister? Now, Twister, I believe you got Crohn's disease. Now, Crohn's disease is more manageable. I knew some, shout out to Prodigy from Mob Deep. He had sickle cell. Sickle cell is a very tough disease. Thank God I never had that. Thank God I never had any diseases. Like, as far as, major things like that. And, people who have sickle cell, depending on their situation, they really suffer. And sometimes Prodigy would make some dark music. He died. And, a lot of times his dark music came from that pain. And now he still had a great creative output. And some things he was just wrong. Just because someone has greatness doesn't mean they're right and everything. But I don't know. Again, look, I'm thankful for my life. I make the most of my life. I don't take naps. I go after what I want, career, personal, etc. So, again, I don't take advice from people who don't go after their best life. I don't care what they believe, pro-vax, anti-vax, pro-choice, anti-choice. If you're not really living life, your opinion, well, again, you have a right to your opinion. I don't bother people. But in my personal inner space, it's like, come on, if you're really saying something, you got to go out there and do something. You can't just think about it. Twister. Getting a vasectomy is one of the biggest goals, hopefully this year. If you're having unprotected, yeah. I've been wanting one since I was 19. I'm 23 now. Money school has been holding me back after graduation. No more excuses. Yeah, if you're actively engaging in sex, I think they say males peak hormonally at 26. Now, of course, you're still a ball of fire after that. But like I say, as you get older, what you're going to realize, Twister and everyone, when a woman gets, most women, not all, when a woman gets to her late 20s and mid 30s, she goes into a nuclear meltdown. She is going to be most women are going to be hell bent on having at least one kid. Why? Now, there's something hormonal, primitive, and not all, but many. And that's their right, But I'm just saying that you have to really consider, is that your dream as well as theirs? And if that's their dream, you can't tell them not to do it. That's their dream. But you can't be in a relationship with them. So, that's another thing about dating is you have to really ask yourself, are you the type of person that wants kids? Now, if you are, that's your right. But then you have to, link with someone that's on that same page. There's no way you can be with someone who wants to have a kid and you don't. I mean, that is a huge difference. That's like night and day. So, that would be very dramatically hard. Thank you again, Clock Radio. I apologize. I think I misunderstood your first comment. If I miss a comment, please type it again. Smiling. Hey, Smiling Dreams. Thank you for coming back. Love and appreciation to you. Sickle cell is an inherited genetic disease. Is it? Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it seems pretty nasty. I haven't known anyone personal that had it, but I think a Prodigy, I think a T-Boss from TLC. So I think like most diseases, right, you can also moderate some of the pain with your diet, with your stress, with your lifestyle. That's the thing that hurt Prodigy too. He would drink, he would smoke, I know even Twister with Crohn's disease, he says that, it flares up more when he's more stressed, not taking care of himself. The best way to mitigate some of your diseases or problems with health, and I can tell you through being obese, is that, look, the food you eat is the number one thing. Next is the amount of movement of your body. And 3 is the amount of stress. But like I say, I know people that the first thing they'll do is they'll quit their job. And then the last thing they'll do is self-care. So it's like, that's hustling backwards. I mean, to me, keep your job, change your diet, move your body, and manage your stress. But people just want that instant grotto. Back to live comments. Clock Radio. Like your content. Thank you. Both technology and traditional skills can be great. I agree. Both can suck to be for the wrong person. I agree. Clock Radio. I believe anyone who wants the shot should have it and couldn't care less if someone doesn't. I hear you. I agree. Twister. I'm not engaging and don't plan to, but I just want that peace of mind insurance in my mind just in case something like that hooked up like last month happens. Yeah, that was a curveball. That's what happens sometimes, especially as a male. Obviously, women have more control over when they decide to willingly lay down with a male, especially unprotected. And that's why I think men need to protect themselves with regards to birth control. Because, you can't really depend on a woman taking the pill, and you can't really depend on a condom. So vasectomy is kind of the only sure thing. So I think birth control for men would be a huge benefit. Because, what happens is, you're going to get lucky one night, and that's what happens because, a girl decides to give you some, and, you could change your whole life. And, we are primitive to a certain extent. We go off stimulation. Our neurological windings get, all worked up. Even with YouTube and social media, right? They know that, you put a red bell, you put a notification, that ding, 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 ding. It alerts your, mental wirings, right? So, and it's not wrong with that, just like a video game, right? A video game, it's not reality. All it is it's setting off neurological bing, 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 bing. Most things in life are not that. And that's not wrong, but there's something there, though. You have to have a level of self-control. The problem is when you're young, you can't really. I'm 41, telling a 21-year-old this, almost impossible. But you plant a seed, and in the mind, not in the womb. But again, now, if no one had babies, what would we do? Well, we'll probably eventually go to artificially making babies or robots. But, I'm certainly, there'll always be people that reprocreate. But look, to me, I'm not trying to tell everyone don't have a baby. I'm just trying to say, I think that birth control for men would be another good step forward for humanity. Because I think giving extra thought and extra protection to really narrow down those who are ready to have a child, which to me is probably your biggest decision. We could talk about a lot of things. Good to see you, Sophie. We could talk about a lot of things, career, adventure, right? But really the biggest life-changing thing is having a child. Really, you could work at Walmart as a single person or even married with no kids. And even if you got a divorce, if you don't have kids, I mean, your life is not going to be that hard. Now, even if you have kids, your life may not be hard because, look, at the end of the day, a lot of life is psychological. As an example, you just got through another day. And if you're watching this, you probably ate what you wanted. You probably, you may not do what you wanted, but you can do what you want if you reposition your life, you put enough work into it. But when you have other people along with you on that ride, it's very hard to change the ship. If you just have a lover, you could change the ship a little bit. It's harder. Single is the easiest. If you got a lover and kids, you're done. You're anchored. You're anchored. And even after your kids become empty nesters, the mother is always drawn to them, always feel something. And I want to tell you right now, and through my experience, what I've seen with my mother and what life, you're going to be all the way to your deathbed, and your children it's still going to be an issue. It never stops. Okay? And, you can lie about that. People can lie about that, but that's not what I've seen. So, I just, I want to share this. This is part of my journey in life. Again, I'm thankful because I feel like I've been very fortunate in life. I still suffer through life to some extent, but not as much as others. I know life. Again, I was supposed to be an abortion. I'm thankful for my mother. I'm thankful for my father. But I'm able to speak that I would say, yeah, if I had a choice, would I willingly come into this world? No. Why? Because to me, it's like, it is a little bit of a fight. Even though I've made my life better and I enjoy my life and I cherish life. I'm not reckless with my life. I mean, I take care of my physical, my mental. So I cherish and respect life, right? But, and I try not to mind fuck life, right? So I don't want to analyze this too much because this is not healthy. But when you give some thought to life, it's pretty much, a somewhat of a circus. But at the same time, I don't go too far down that road. Why? Because I'm here. You make the most of it. You don't become a clown, right? You become a refined person. So that's what I encourage people that are mind fucking life or blaming their parents too much. Look, you're here. So just go forward. If you blame your parents, your life's going to be harder. If you work on yourself, your life will be better. You give yourself the best shot. So, it is this weird dynamic, right? Where I don't want to curse my parents, because I'm thankful for my parents. I don't want to curse life, but I do sometimes. And even they did in the Bible. So that's when I really know that if you think that, this is wrong, you've never read the Bible, where it even says in the scriptures, like what good is a life if you really don't enjoy it? Moses asked God to kill him because he just got tired of living. Paul the apostle, who wrote most of the New Testament, said, I wish I was dead, but for your sake, I have to be alive to teach you in life, where I'm going to do nothing. Okay. And I'm going to not be inspired. I'm going to live my best life. Okay? I'm going to keep a job. I'm going to downsize. I'm going to live where I want. I'm going to go after my creative passion, but I'm able to do that because I ain't got no kids. Okay. If I had kids, guys, it wouldn't be inspirational nomad. It would be homeowner that you never heard of. Yeah. Yep. And I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. Why? I can't handle all that. I mean, guys, I have to work on my family. But everyone has a gift, guys. I don't think everyone wants to be single with no kids and living a free life. I mean, I think some people, I think they like, I don't know. I don't know what people like. But these are just my thoughts. I hope they help you. Let's go back to these live comments. Sophie, thank you for your consistent positivity. I really appreciate you. Sophie, hello to all in the chat. Hello to you. Love and blessings. Same to you. Do you have children, Sophie? Nomad is saying, very wise, as suggested one listens. Well, I appreciate you, Sophie. I know you said you were married. Did you have kids, if you want to share? Preston, good to see you. I don't understand how free porn has become such an underrated tool. I think I agree with you. Well, some people get addicted to it. It's like any tool, right? Preston, I'm going to read the rest of your comment, right? If I give you a hammer, you could either build a house or you can commit suicide. So that's how you got to look at a tool, right? So some people, they can't handle it. They got to be in a rubber room with some rubbers on. Infinity 199 vasectomy for the win. He's got one. And that's my brother. I want to tell you, if you want to sell your condo and live in a travel trailer, you could. Why? When you don't have kids, you could take more risk. Okay. I remember even before I stopped talking to my father, when I was telling him the idea of selling my house and moving to Florida, and maybe even living on the road, it was like, initially, definitely, he was disgruntled. He was always disgruntled about it. But he said, look, at the end of the day, you don't have no kids. You kind of take more risk. Okay. So, some of it is generational. Okay. Because, again, each generation learns from the previous generation somewhat, overall, on average. Of course, there's some families that don't, but on average, you learn from your prior generation. And, this next generation, kids are more thought of rather than. All I can tell you, Infinity, is your dream is still alive because you don't have many attachments. And all I can tell you, like I tell all people who have this option, I'm 41. And there's no way I would be, if I was still obese, there's no way I'd be able to get out of obesity now. Because I just don't have the energy to do what I did in my 30s. There's no way I'd have the energy to push myself in the ocean, push myself to the gym, even though I'm right where I want to be. Why? Because even on a Saturday, I have to push myself to do things I enjoy at 41. I couldn't imagine 2-3 kids taking care of a house and then wishing when I'm 65 I can do what I'm doing now. I just couldn't see it, man. I mean, yeah, 65, I'll come to Florida. I'd go to the beach once in a while. Not every day. Not every day. No way. I don't have the energy. Even today, man. I mean, it's like, So, but again, everyone shouldn't be me. Okay. But I have to share what I am. So, I'm not trying to say everyone live like me, but these are my thoughts. And I'm able to have a channel because I don't have kids. And I guarantee if you have kids, you got to, it's a whole nother dynamic. And, again, if you already have kids, let it go. Just make the most of it. Accept the sloppiness of life. It's like when I had a dog. It was like my child for 10 years. And it took a lot out of me, but it was a lot of joy. But you never stop worrying. I went to the emergency room. What did I think of? Who's going to take care of my dog? And watching my dog in pain took something out of my soul. So, I always tell you, and most people get a dog before they have a child in a first world country. Even most couples, they have a dog, then they have a child. A dog or a pet, a cat, never date a girl that has a cat. Why? It's just I don't want to get into that live feed. But I can tell you this, that a dog or a pet shows you the hyper speed of what life is. Because for every 1 year in human years, it's like 7 years in dog years. So the dog dies before you. So you see the dog from their young, energetic stage where they tear up your house. It's a lot of work, a lot of fun. Then they get into a flow. Then they get old and sick, you become a caretaker, and then you have to painfully separate from them. And that's the dynamic of having a kid. You never stop worrying. Harry Lion King actually liked the name. $2 super chat. But what much about legacy? That's just pride. Legacy is how you live and the impression you make on people and society. To have a child but not work hard and not be inspired is all pride. So, to me, if you want to have a child to have a legacy, it says more about your weak character. And I recommend you don't have a child. To me, if you have good character, if you get the most out of your life, you take care of yourself, you live your best life, you will leave more of an impression on this world than if you had 5 children. And that's why even as they got into the New Testament, they said it's better not to have a children because you can do more for the Lord. So legacy is man's pride. Stacy, she has, I believe, 8 kids, I believe. You're a blessing because you stay positive as best you can, but she deals with some nasty bitch daughters. $4.99 super chat. She goes, wow, I love that you validated what many feel. Now, I believe I'm in a position to do it because I know many feel it but can't say it. But I recommend that you YouTube search Gabrielle Reese. She married a surfer. She was a successful volleyball player woman, beautiful. Again, neither one of them needed each other for money. And she's very intelligent. She speaks very honestly about the subject. I really enjoyed her interviews. She goes, I never thought I would ever hear you say you have less energy. It's true. And I've been always blessed with high energy, good energy. Now you have to learn to harness it and focus it and manage it. But I definitely know the difference. Again, when I was 21, I could eat a bucket of fried chicken and play full court basketball for 4 hours. When I was 31, I could start to get out of obesity and walk 20, 30 miles. When I'm 41, I got to push myself to wake up early. Even though that is easier, I've developed that habit's easier to wake up early because I know if you wake up late, your day's done. If you wake up late, you should never have a child. Why? What do you want to? You can't even you can't even wake up early. And then, but pushing myself to the gym and to the beach, it's amazing. Such great things. They're still hard to do. And I see like parents, like they'll go on vacation for 1 week out of the year, 2 weeks, and they got to round up all their kids to push them to do these fun things. It's a disaster. You ever see parents take their kids to Disneyland? It's a moment of excitement with a lot of torture. So, these are my observations. Thank you, Stacy. A lot of love and appreciation and respect for you, Stacy, and all that you go through and all that you honestly share. Thumbs up to you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, click that thumbs up. Thank you, Harry King. Thank you, Stacy. And thank you, Infinity. Let me go back to these live comments. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I believe I left off at Clock Radio. I feel we already have male birth control with condoms. Nah, they're too suspect. Even though they could work, but they break, they ruin the mood, and a lot of people don't want to deal with them. Sucks that they feel terrible. Yeah, it's just not the same. Clock Radio. Hormonal birth control for women has many side effects. Hormones for men may not be worth it. There's side effects to everything, but I want to tell you, if you think the side effects of birth control are bad, you should try having a kid. Wait till you see the side effects of that. That's what I mean. People are delusional. Like, yeah, they won't, what's the side effect of a vaccine? I don't know. Maybe 1% have, heart murmur. What's the side effect of a child? Well, poverty, emotional anguish, physical problems. I mean, a lot. So, guys, there's no guarantees in life. I mean, you want to lock yourself up in a bubble and be delusional, you could be perfect. But there's a lot more risks in having a kid. So, it's like you got to look at everything. Um, I believe I left off the next one, Clock Radio. When you're traveling, is free Wi Fi from business the best option for internet? I have an unlimited data plan. I can tether the Wi Fi off my phone. That's the best option. And there's free Wi Fi everywhere in a populated area, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Walmart, Lowe's. But I recommend you just have a good cell phone unlimited plan. You tether your Wi Fi off your cell phone because then you have internet everywhere you go. Sophie, one can't drive looking in the rear view mirror. That's true. Nomad is right that way. Yeah. If you have kids, I know great people have kids. They love their kids. But I tell you, they tell me, I know, I love them. They love their kids. Their kids it's tough they love their kids. I don't think they would regret having kids, but it's a lot. It's a lot to take care of these damn kids. Infinity, thank you again, brother. Again, you don't have kids, so you have a lot of luxury. If you think luxury is a class B, no. Luxury is no kids. You could do whatever the fuck. You could live in a damn Omni. Okay, you can live in a Volvo. Okay, you can live in anything. Sophie, I have 2 kids. She goes, I adopted a 17-year-old and her dog. Well, thank you for sharing. I mean, I know a great guy. He adopted a few kids, and he's a great guy. He's got a great wife, and he makes the most of it. So again, I'm not anti this, but I know that's not easy. He puts a lot of work in taking care of his family, but he's a loving person. I give him a lot of credit, and I tell people that too. Look, if you can't have kids, look, there's kids that need to be adopted. So that's yeah. So I appreciate what you've done. Sophie, I had 2 adopted ones, so I total of 3 and a dog. Well, God bless you, Sophie. No, I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate your positive attitude. No one else wanted her or her dog. I don't. I'll tell you right now, that made me upset. But I'll say that, but I thank God for people like you. So it is difference that makes the world go round, but it is a child that make your earth stop still. So just be careful. Thank you, Sophie. Clock Radio. Trick is to exercise with the kids. Trick is to eat healthy and not have kids. We love to ski, bike, kayak. And how often do you do that? What'd you do today? Today, did you ski, bike, or kayak? Right now, you're on the internet. Where are your kids at? It's 8 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Harry Liking. Yeah, I answered that already, but thank you for the comment. Yeah, if a person wants to have a child for their legacy, they're just prideful. Sophie, all girls are gainfully employed. Well, that's a blessing. I taught my girls I could tell you, but that's a tough thing too, because I've seen my mom work all her life, and that doesn't always carry through. So, there's no exact science to raising kids, but I appreciate your example. And she goes, be the queen and build your own castle. You're awesome. And I want to encourage all the diligent parents out there. Just because you're diligent, though, it doesn't mean your children will be diligent. Maybe they'll have mental or physical problems or whatever. I can't call that. Obviously, too, the other person, I don't know. You can have 2 parents that worked. Both parents, though, you can say, I don't know. It's a tough thing to figure out how your kids are going to end up. There's no exact science. Stacy, thank you again for the gracious super chat and for your love. I truly appreciate you, Stacy, and I thank you. Jewel, yes, Sam, I agree. Well, thank you, Jewel. Thank you for everything. Thank you for last night. I hope you're doing good today. Appreciate you. My man Movano. I know a 72-year-old that had a baby with a 38-year-old lady. Wow. Talk about a reality show. Yeah, now they say men can really have a baby till the day they die. Women usually till they're about 40, and then it's very rare above that. So, that's the difference between men and women. It's true. Jewel, where is the scripture of which book does it say where it's better not to have a child so you can serve the Lord? Let me Google that real quick. Those who are single it is serve. They basically say single serve the Lord, but I could tell you other scriptures about not kids. Let's see here. see. I believe it's the book of Corinthians. I just want to verify it. So the book of Corinthians, the Paul the Apostle wrote to the Corinthian church, and he does give a balance. He says, look, everyone has their own thing, but I recommend you stay single if you can. Even Jesus, his disciples asked him, is it better to stay single and not married? He said, yes, but not many people can handle this. I want to find the scriptures though. But you got to remember too, guys, the Bible is not the final law. While the Bible also said if you're a slave, you should obey your slave master. The Bible also said women shouldn't speak in the church, right? So even if the Bible doesn't say it, the Bible's not right every time, right? Because if you're a woman and you're in this live chat, if you were a woman, no woman wrote any part of the Bible. Why? Didn't have the right. No slave wrote any part of the Bible. Well, somewhere I guess were slaves. That was just part of the time. But let me see what it says here. I don't want to take up too much time. Come on. Why won't I search this? I definitely recommend read 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I mean, that pretty much outlines the entire subject. But I'll try to real quick just look at one more thing. I believe the verse I'm looking for is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. But read the whole chapter. Yeah. So 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. He goes, this is Paul the Apostle speaking. I want you to be free from the concerns of this life. An unmarried man can spend his time doing the Lord's work and thinking about how to please him. So again, you can apply that to anyone. Again, women didn't have equal rights in the Bible days. So that's again why you don't just follow the Bible blindly. But that even Paul the Apostle, when he was questioned about women and slaves, he goes, look, if anyone opposes my opinions, because Paul the Apostle even said some of these are not God's commandments, just his opinion. He goes that this is the only tradition we know. So they say, okay, well, I'm not going to listen to him. I'm going to listen to Moses. Moses gave us the commandments. Okay, let's think about Moses' actual life. Moses went to the mountain to get the 10 commandments. Then what did he do? Read the Bible. He came off the mountain with 10 commandments. One of the commandments that Moses came with from the Lord said, thou shalt not kill. He saw people acting up. So what did he do? Did he give them the commandments? No, he smashed the commandments. He killed 3,000 people, men, women, and children. Then he went back up to the mountain. He got another 10 commandments, a duplicate copy. He lived his life. Then he asked God to kill him on a rock. Yeah, the Bible will fuck you up if you read it. I think the Bible's a blessing, certain parts. I think the Lord, I still believe in the Lord. I believe in faith. I believe in spirituality. But like all religious scriptures, I believe you got to read them and look at the lives of the people that wrote them. Why? You can't just be a robot. You're a human and God lives inside you. You got to think about this stuff, okay? Doug, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, brother. Thank you for being a member. Thank you, brother. Purple fire all the way from the Pacific Northwest. I hope you had your Starbucks today, Doug. Doug, I read your comment today. I appreciate your comment. It's basically suicidal. You basically, I don't remember the exact words, but you basically said, I don't know if I'll make it through today. And I just prayed that the Lord help you make it through as best you can. I don't want to give you a bunch of hot air. But I want to tell you this, brother, you made it through the day. Hopefully you went to Starbucks, went to Whole Foods. Hopefully you got some exercise. You woke up early, did the best you could. Try to change your life, live where you want, live below your means. Doug, if you ain't got no damn kids, don't get too down. Why? You could still got another shot, man. Doug, you got kids? You got it, brother. You're okay. Doug, purple fire. Doug, even if you lost $5 million, brother, you ain't got no kids? You're $5 million richer than someone with 3 kids and a regular job. Doug, exercising, son, for increased testing. I want to tell you, when I'm in Florida, there's no doubt about it. I got that hot vitamin D pumping through my body, and after I get out of the gym, I blow my load. Why? Because I got that testosterone pumping. I ain't lying about that. Daz, thank you. Daz, I agree with you, but I can't escape the fear that there will be no one to take care of me, and then I'll be 90. Well, yeah, you should read Adam's comment and other people that are taking care of their parents with dementia. See how that goes in living in their house. So, Daz, what I could tell you is, why don't you be 90 and have your ungrateful children or your incapable children able to take care of you? And you got dementia and they want to take care of you because they don't want to use your assets. They want that as an inheritance. You'll be like Moses. You'll wish you were dead. So what I tell you to do is stack your money, get long-term health care, and stop the delusion. Okay. So you're totally wrong in your assessment. You don't really look at life. You've never spent time with the elderly. They're not with their children getting taken care of well. Sophie, I enjoy your humor. I laugh every time it's true. What you are saying, there are many variables. You get it, Sophie. You get it, and I appreciate you. Stacy, Sam, you're right. You cannot predict how your kids will turn out, even if you have a good role model. Yeah, that's the ironic thing of life. There is science, there's data, and there's example. But there is variables. But I will tell you this, the better example, the better you do, the more you mitigate your risk. I could tell you that. But I would tell you, look, the more kids you have, the more risk you take. Why? You have 3 kids, guarantee you one going to give you a problem. Yeah. Okay, you got 1 kid, odds are less. 2 kids, 50-50. 3 kids, now you're down 25%. If you have 8 kids, 6 kids, you're going to have 2 or 3 give you hell. It's just the odds. Yeah, so you got to be careful. That's why back in the day, they had so many kids. Why? They knew a couple were going to die from disease, and a couple were going to be bastards, and a couple were going to be good. Yeah. You get a Cain, and you get an Abel, even if you wrote the Bible. Huh, yeah, they wrote the Bible, and they still got a Cain and the Abel. That's in the Bible. It's amazing. Preston, it's hard for me to want kids because you can be a great parent and yet your kid will end up a little psycho. It's possible. And kill you in your sleep. That's possible. You're taking a chance. That's for sure. It's a risky thing. That's why I want to encourage Doug. Even if you lost all your money in the stocks, you're still doing better than a lot of people that lost all their sanity with kids. So chin up, brother. Harry King, thank you again. Oh, I missed this. Forgive me. Harry King, forgive me, brother, being late on this. I will be doing the birth control trials October 13th. Well, best of luck to you. I think you'll do well. Why? Hey, I think being part of the birth control trials is safer than not having birth control and having a kid and seeing how that trial works out. I ain't lying about that. Thank you, Harry King. I'm sorry for being late on that. Twisted Sam, do you know the line from the Bible that goes, get married or burn? Yeah, it's better to get married than to burn with lust. But again, if you masturbate, you're not burning with lust. Why? You just shot your load. That's why I say masturbate. Because the Bible doesn't say don't masturbate, marry. It says it's better to marry than burn with lust. But if you masturbate, you're not burning with lust. You just shot your load. So guys and girls, for the guys, masturbate. For the girls, I know there's a different dynamic. All I could tell the girls is don't worry about if you're in your late 20s and 30s and you have kids. Why? You don't want to give up your entire life for someone else. You may think you do, but you're going to see you ain't. If you don't believe me, look at your mother. Yeah, good question. I heard an interpretation that meant burn with desire. Well, I just answered that. But now we have porn. Even if you didn't have porn, you can masturbate. Guys, I want to tell you this too. You don't need porn. All you need is an imagination. I can look at a beautiful girl with respect and then go back to my private space and masturbate to her. Yeah. And so I don't need porn. Porn is just another tool that I can handle. See, when I was an electrician, guys, I worked with a lot of dangerous tools, but I handled them. Some people, guys, they're psychopaths. You can't give them a tool. You can't give them a hammer to kill themselves. So some people, they can't watch porn, but they can still imagine a girl and they can masturbate. They imagine a girl like a cartoon. I see some of these guys, they masturbate to girl cartoon. I mean, it's crazy. So for them, yeah, give them a sock and a cartoon. Let them go, they masturbate to Superwoman. I don't know. Tony, good to see you. Just a purple fire member only emoji. Stacy, wow, very powerful. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you for everyone on live chat tonight. Please, if you haven't already, click the thumbs up. Thank you to all these super chats. Thank you to all my members. Thank you. Hey, guys, ain't that bad. We're here. Doug, no wife, no kids. You're okay then, man. But I know how life is. I don't want to diminish your depression. Have Starbucks and Whole Foods instead. Doug, I just believe in you, brother, because you're so positive. I know that you feel pain. Positive people feel pain. Sometimes even more than the negative people, because the negative people they feel pain, they let it right out. Positive people feel pain, they take it in, they don't do anything, and it eats them up. All I want to tell you, Doug, you're going to figure it out. And even if you don't figure it out, manage your time, do things you want to do during the day, and some things you don't want to do. Push yourself to wake up early, push yourself to eat a little bit healthier, push yourself to go for a walk, and masturbate, and have Starbucks, and have Whole Foods. You got through another day. You're not doing that bad. It's springtime, brother. Stacy's laughing good. Laughter's good for soul. Jack Burris, I'm late to the super chat, brother. Damn it, don't be mad at me, brother. I remember when my mother had to wake me up for school. That was hard. I gave her hell. And I thank God for all the parents that have to deal with that. Jack Burris, 199 super chat. Have kids, but now tied up. Laughing. No kids are okay. Jack, you are an awesome person. Your wife sounds like an awesome person. And I thank God for awesome people like you. Because that you are a good person, but you also acknowledge, just like Stacy, that, having a kid is not just a cakewalk. So I can respect that. That these are people that chose that path. They're doing a great job as best they can. And they're telling people, look, I'm not anti-kid, but it's not easy. You got to think about it. So, Jack, I love you. I want the best for you and your family. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. You've been a long time viewer and supporter, and I thank you. I truly do, Jack. You're going to do fine, too. Just like Doug. You're doing a great job. Stacy was laughing good. Caveman, what's up, brother? Good evening, people. Caveman, thank you for coming in. Love to you, brother. Caveman, use your imagination. Yeah, that's right, Caveman. Yeah, you got an imagination thing. You got a cartoon thing. Yeah, exactly. So, guys and girls, I know this video may not be too popular, and I don't want to be hurtful to anyone out there. I just want to share this perspective that I have. Again, I was spared a little bit when I was young. I was born a certain way where, it just wasn't in the cards for me, and I didn't have that desire. So I don't want to be on a high horse. I don't want people to feel bad about themselves if they have a kid. But I do want you to, if you don't have a kid, give this some thought. Not just birth control for men, but having a child at all. If you're, same thing if you're a woman. Give it some thought. Look at your mother. And how much stress does your mother have to deal with? Do you want to deal with that? Your mother deals with a lot. Think about all these things, that's all. Preston, I've learned a lot about lazy people or just by paying attention. Yeah. Like right now, 43 people watching and only 14 likes. Lord help us. Is that it? Yeah, it's amazing, man. I see 40 people watching, 26 likes. And you say, well, some people are watching on TV. They can't click the thumbs up. Yeah, they're too lazy to log onto their laptop or their mobile phone. So they're just going to watch me on TV, eat popcorn, and say, can you believe this guy's saying this to their wife and their kids? And I understand. It's very hard to log onto your laptop or phone. It's not easy. Keep watching. Game Man. Choose your partner wisely. Yep. And even if you choose the wrong partner, that's okay. But if you have kids with the wrong partner, now it's going to be very tough. Children need both parents. Not necessarily, but obviously that's optimal. But I do believe in divorce. I thank God my parents got divorced. I believe I believe I wouldn't be here if my parents didn't get divorced. As far as I wouldn't be in a healthy space. It was very toxic at the end. So I really want to encourage parents that are in a bad relationship, get a divorce, because you don't realize what you put your kids through. So I thank God that my mother, and I had to push a little bit. I thank God that she did get a divorce. I thank God my father paid child support. He did. I'm not saying my father was all wrong, but they were wrong for each other. And that's okay. But separate, because, it's just not good. Look, when you have love in the house, love covers a multitude of sin. Even if your house is sloppy, if you let your kids hang out with the wrong people, if there's love and grace, that's fine. If you have a strict parent, okay, fuck them, okay? If you have an asshole parent, I want to tell you guys, I don't give a fuck if your kid goes to college and gets a good job. Their fucking life is tortured. So I want to tell you right now, man, when in doubt, let the house be a little bit more relaxed. Doug, I believe I left off at Doug. No cat shit in my bed. So yeah, I hear you, brother. I want to be positive, Doug. You get it. Preston, you can give people a free product and ask them just to press a touchscreen. That's too much work. They can't even be bothered to do that. It's crazy. Yeah, it is. I want to focus on the vet. I've been very fortunate on my channel. I acknowledge that. There's been a lot of great people that have supported me with a thumbs up, with a super chat, with membership. So I don't want to be cynical. I have blocked some people. I have been too rough on some people. So I want to be fair in my evaluation of everything. Overall, I'm very fortunate for my channel. Even though it's a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'm fortunate. Caveman, yep, thank you. Twister, liking on a TV is possible. I've done it. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that was on my TV before. Can you leave detailed instructions? Because I want to tell you, some people, they need detail. Remember this, Twister, and every potential leader or manager. You always have to create an instruction manual, a template that shows a bullet point of what needs to be done and a visual example. If you want the job to get done, you need a clear bullet point guideline on what needs to be done, in what order, and a visual example if you can. I want to tell you, any manager, any leader, I want to say this one more time. Don't assume people know how to do it. Don't assume if you tell people they're good to do it. They need a document that has a clear bullet point on how to do it and a visual example. Because all of us, including me, you say, yes, yes, yes. Then you're going to have to do it. You got to go back to that document. Oh, I want that change your life. That's worth 4 years of college right there. Caveman, I understand. I'm glad my father divorced my mother. Thank you, Caveman. You get it. Doug, for the algorithm, thumbs up, brother. Doug, I want to tell you this. I can't believe it. Doug, he goes through the depths of depression. This guy becomes a member. Every comment is fucking positive. Even a comment he left today that was like sad. This guy still like positive. Doug, I love you, man. I want nothing but positive shit for you, man. I love you, man. Keep it up, a Bree. The sexiest woman you ever met. Keep it up, a Bree. You know, like I know. I think you're in your mid-20s. All I want to tell you is you do what you want. That's number one. Number two, don't get in a fury. Don't get in a rush to have a kid when you're in your late 20s, 30s. Why? Talk to a woman in her 50s and 60s. Not a delusional woman that likes to socialize and likes to act like her life's perfect. I want you to talk to a real fair woman. Not to try to sway you against kids, but to give you the honest reality, good and bad. There's some of them out there. I recommend you YouTube search Gabrielle Reese, famous volleyball player, still married, still with kids, raising good kids. And she gives an honest evaluation of life with kids. She wrote a book too. It's pretty good. Caveman, my biological mother is extremely toxic. Well, thank you for sharing that, because I often say like father could be toxic, but mother could be toxic. Shout out to my member Justin, or my viewer Justin I met in person. He had a mother like that as well. Oh, we'll get back to it. John, super chat. John Kearns, $2. Thanks for the content advice. John Kearns, thank you. John Kearns, thank you. Everyone out there, thank you. Thank you, John. I appreciate that, brother. Love to you, man. Keep pushing forward, John. Caveman was saying, my biological mother is extremely toxic and mentally abusive. She doesn't like my best friend, so that's a good sign. Yeah, it's tough, man. Peyton Nolan, what's up, brother? Salute, Uncle Sammy. Salute to you, man. Right back to you. Caveman, speaking of good attitudes, today is beautiful. Yeah, I'm thankful. It is what you make it. Every life has good and bad. Aaron, hey guys, Aaron, we love you. We know you had a tough time with your sons. We know you love your sons, or one of them. Again, you're going to have two sons. Maybe one gives you problems, one doesn't. It's just life. But Erin's a loving mother, great person. Her kids are going to be fine. She's going to be fine. And even if they're not, there's nothing you can do. So just let go. This message is not to go backwards in time, because we can't go backwards. But it's for those who don't have children and for us to reflect. If Aaron, I won't want to speak for you, but Aaron, if you were talking to your sons or to your daughter, let's say you had a daughter, and they were in their 20s and they didn't have kids, what advice would you, now an empty nester, what would you tell them about having children? Let's just listen to you. Let's listen to real life, honest person. Caveman, hello, Rain, hello. Oh, hello, Aaron, he says. Sophie, I wish my mother would have divorced my father. This is a good comment as well. Thank you for being honest. Yes, divorce is very good, and yes, indeed. Sophie, again, I really appreciate your consistent, honest, positive comments. Let's take a hydration break. If Aaron wants to leave that comment, that'll be great. I think we had a good conversation tonight. Thank you again, Stacy. Thank you again, Harry Lion King. Thank you, everyone, all my members. I really appreciate Infinity. I thank you. Twister, Sam. Same at Sophie. Yeah, thank you, Twister, too, for everything. Thank you, Doug. Again, this is not to go backwards, but to go forwards. One of the biggest decisions of your life is, do you have children? I watched a free porn video today. It was a guy who had sex with a girl. He had sex with her, and he came inside her and he said, have my baby. And it was very sexual to watch. But again, after that moment of climax is a life of consequence. So we have to remember that. $5 super chat. That's my man, Doug, working out, super sticker emoji. Well, Doug, you already know I'm one of your biggest fans. You are in the Pacific Northwest and you're going to figure it out because you got the first step you need to your best life is a positive attitude. You said, well, Inspirational Nomad, I was very depressed today and I have a positive attitude. What should I do? Well, one is say you're depressed, let some of that out without being negative. You can say a negative thing without letting negativity consume you. 2 is move your body because you can't outthink depression. 3 is downsize because having stuff you don't need makes you more depressed. 4 is manage your time because idle time is the devil's playground. 5 is now you had a full day. I mean, do something you love, do something you need to do something that makes money, try to figure out a budget, try to figure out where you want to live. All these things just for a single person with no kids, it'll keep you busy the rest of your life. If you don't know how to keep yourself busy the rest of your life, you're going to have kids and they going to keep you busy the rest of your life. All right? Damn it, that was the Lord spoke to me on that. Let's go back to these comments. Thank you, Doug. Let's listen to Aaron now. I got to calm myself. This is Aaron giving advice to a younger person, even her own children that don't have kids. Aaron had 2 kids. Let's listen to what she would say. She goes, I tell my kids exactly what your mom says. Kids mean you will worry forever. However, for me, parenting was worth it. I do love them both. I'm just realistic that it's harder than I thought. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you sharing. I think everyone would do wise to listen. Caveman, Stacy, thank you again, Stacy. You're a blessing. She goes, one of my daughters said she didn't want kids. And I said, good. That's okay. You can be a good auntie. Oh, yeah, you'd be a great auntie. Imagine how much carefree life you can live if you just have to take care of a kid once in a while and then do whatever you want afterwards. That's the type of life I like. And enjoy kids that way. Oh, that's the best type in my opinion. Good job, Stacy. Aaron, I thought she continues now in her thoughts on parenting. She goes, I thought parenting came to an end. Somehow. It doesn't. I want to tell you, even in your 80s, it's going to be like this. It just changes. It's true. It's true. Preston, my mom and dad had a toxic relationship my whole life, he says. Now they sleep on opposite ends of the house and walk on eggshells around each other. Oof. That's very tough environment, man. Hopefully you don't have to live in that house. You know, if you say that if you have the opportunity to get out of a house, visit your parents, talk to your mom every day and your father if it's healthy, but live in your own space, your own house. It's worth having to work. It is. It is. Jack, can I get an amen? Jack, you can. And I appreciate you and I respect your family. Again, I'm very fair. There's some people, great people in here. They have children. They're raising a great family, or they raised a great family and did the best they could against a crapshoot. No family is perfect. But I appreciate everyone sharing tonight. Aaron, Stacy, it used to bother me when mine said they didn't want kids. Now I'm relieved for them. Yeah, I mean, if you think cream pieing in a girl, or if you think having a baby is relieving because you finally got pregnant, I want to tell you, it's like, everyone's different. But if you're going to give anything a lot of thought, it's having a child. You can recover from buying a bad car purchase. You can recover from buying a bad piece of property. But it's going to be hard as fuck to recover from having a bad kid. Okay? I ain't lying about that. So just be very careful, all right? Stacy, I think the Lord did speak to you on that, Sam, because that is the truth. Well, thank you, Stacy. I do feel that's part of my testimony. Again, I want to acknowledge that I think I was spared a little bit at times in my youth. I think I chose to go a different path because I kind of realized I just wasn't born for that. So I don't want to boast, and I don't want to say everyone should be like me, because I'm old enough and understanding enough that everyone is not meant to live like everyone. But I think everyone should give a lot of thought and planning to having a child. If they even have one, and if they're going to have one, a lot of thought and planning. I think that's fair. That's my overall message. Because I just think it'd be a healthier you and a healthier society. That's a pretty simple message. Good job. Hey, Suitcase, what's up, brother? It should cost as much to get married as it does to get divorced. Yeah, I saw some scam the other day. I was driving. They were like, divorce, only $200. Call this number. I said, that's a scam. People would think more about the decision. Well, Conversation Corners, aka Suitcase, you're an electrician, just like I was. I often say this, Suitcase. If you're going to put a new electrical service in your house, you have to take out a permit with the county, with the state, with the town. If you're going to have a child, you should have to take out a permit. You should have to get a physical, mental, and financial exam. It shouldn't be easier to change your electrical service than it is to have a child. Because you could recover from a bad relationship, but if you have a child in a bad relationship, it's almost impossible to recover for you and that child. So that's a lot of planning, just like electrical service, even more needs to be put in thought into that. But it's not easy when you're hormonal. It's not. Caveman, you want to be a good parent so your kid wants to visit. Basically, teach them all you know, and hopefully they will be good on the person autopilot. That's tough. Even that's not, everyone wants to visit on their terms, on their way, and it's just tough. And a visit is different than living. The pandemic taught us that it's a blessing to visit people you love, including your parents. It's a burden to have to live with people. For them and you, not just for you, for them too. You think your parents always want you around. You out your damn mind. They don't. Yeah, they don't. You think they do. They don't. Stacy, I hear you, Aaron. Thumbs up. Sophie, I say if you have kids, wait until you're in your 30s. Yeah, and I say if you made it to your 30s, enjoy singleness the rest of your life. Then just have one or two. Never judge someone just because they don't want children. Yes. And again, I don't want to be judgmental for those who have children, because I recognize that this is what makes the world go round. I just want to say I think that we should have birth control for men, and they're developing it now. Not just a condom or a vasectomy, but pills to stop the impregnation. And I think that just give some thought. Again, for a 21-year-old person, or even a 31-year-old person that's hormonal, it's almost impossible to give thought. So I don't want to be boastful. You got to be spared a little bit, but hopefully this message makes someone think. Sophie, Nomad is very correct in what he says. So are you. I have kids, and what he is saying is true. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate Aaron, Stacy, everyone who shared their perspective tonight. This is what makes the world go around. And I'll close on this. Look, Elon Musk, he's been married 3 times. He's got kids with different wives. He's smart enough to invent great things. He's a value to society. He may get us to Mars, but he can't maintain a home life. Now, he can reproduce, but if you're reproducing all these children and you're creating great things, again, I'm not saying he has to be home with his children all the time. I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic, It's like, I don't know, but I don't know everything in life. I just know this. For me, kids weren't in the cards, and I intentionally at a certain point steered away from it. And I don't even have a desire to adopt. I don't have a desire. I love kids, but at this point in my life, yeah, I don't want to be around kids. I don't. Art Dog. Yes, I agree. It's a burden for sides when living together. It's a disaster. That's what I've seen. Now, again, if you got a major disability, I understand that. I don't judge that. But there's a lot of people, guys, I don't think they have a major disability. I think they got major time on their hands. And I think they call it major problems in the household they grew up in. Or with the people they grew up. I really do. So, all right, guys and girls, thank you again, everyone. You're very gracious to me. Hopefully the Wi-Fi was good. Hopefully the message was good. And again, do whatever you want. It's your life. I love everyone. I want the best for everyone. Well, some people I don't like, but, I don't want to go around with hate in my heart. But I don't also want to act like I love it. I do love everyone, but you guys know what I mean when I say that. I mean, there's some people I don't want to be around. I don't wish like they get hit by a car, or anything bad, but I really don't like them. I'm not going to lie about that. Jewel, you loved it. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jewel. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Caveman.